This episode of Lunchtime Variety Podcast is brought to you by Drew, leading the frontier of industry through the shackles of time-space continuums, going nowhere soon.
Lunchtime Variety. Hey everybody, we're here in the car again. We're doing our thing. I think we're going to do some current events, and we're going to get to an experiment, because I support science in a general, kind of novel kind of way, not in a real life, get things done kind of way. So I'm here with Marmaduke, Masala, Salsa, Nakadu, Megan.
Okay. So, what do you want to hear first? That's my question.
I want to hear...
You want headlines first, and you can decide?
Yeah, let's do that.
I don't have a headline for this, but it's basically having to do with The Onion made a joke and China took it serious.
Oh.
The next one is a controversial, it's a hot button. It's a hot button.
I don't know if I have the energy for more hot button issues.
Let me put the question to you.
Okay.
Do you think it's right for parents to give their little kids, like 7, marijuana?
Oh.
And next one, Bigfoot is real.
Bigfoot's real? Oh. Well, I know Bigfoot's real, but I didn't know that. Is there evidence? Is that what you're saying? There's going to be evidence?
Well, I don't know. There is, and maybe evidence.
Okay. That's enough for me. Okay. Kids smoking weed, Bigfoot, and what was the other one?
Oh, also, bounce house injuries are on the rise.
Oh, that's pretty good. Let's do... I'm just drawn to controversial topics, I think.
You want to open with the...
Children smoking
children
weed? No, okay. Let's open on a light note. Mm-hmm. Children being injured.
Okay.
In bounce houses.
That's fine with me. It's pretty self-explanatory. This article's just saying a lot of kids are getting injured in bounce houses, so stop getting your kids bounce houses.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. Like, do they give percentages?
They said between 1990 and 2010, nearly 65,000 children were involved in inflatable bouncer-related injuries.
Okay.
And were treated in emergency
This
rooms.
is just one more sissy America concern.
Yeah, and they have an article about it. That's what...
Get as many bounce houses as you can. Kids need to be injured. That's part of childhood.
Yeah, a pediatrician says, they have not made a statement about the bounce houses so far. It's hard to say we don't recommend bounce houses completely.
Oh my god.
Obviously, it's not advisable if you ask me as a pediatrician.
I hate that happened. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine the pediatrician taking in the questions and thinking, like, this is stupid. I feel stupid. Yeah. The person asking me feels stupid. And now we feel stupid. Yeah,
they were trying to come at all these bounce house rental companies all crazy. There's one place called Spacewalk.
They're picking on Spacewalk?
Okay, listen to this sentence. It says, bounce house rental companies, such as Louisiana-based Spacewalk, mm-hmm. which has locations in Cleburne and Burleson, and Jumpin' Apes, have insurance and guidelines for proper use of bounce houses, but injuries still happen.
Oh my god.
You have kids jumping up and down in an enclosed bounce house. No S injuries are going to happen.
No S. You got it from Megan. No S. Injuries are gonna happen.
No.
She means...
No crap.
Okay, now we have to talk...
No kidding.
You guys, Megan's afraid to curse on the podcast. And I think we need to email the podcast at insert podcast email here. Haven't decided yet.
ZiggyShotYou@gmail.com.
No, give my private information out. Oh my god, no. Email us if a Y or an N if you think Megan should curse, which I think overwhelmingly the response will be.
Well, the answer's no, because people just want filth. The people want filth. I'm trying to
give a little. You gotta give the people filth, Megan.
Daniel, I'm not giving people...
Your standards are too high.
They're not high, I'm not saying you can't cuss, I'm just saying I'm not gonna. So right. No S.
Alright, no S. No S. These kids are getting injured more in the bounce house.
And you know what? F you for wanting me to cuss. F you.
Okay. F me.
And the greater you, the podcast listeners, if you want
Don't
it.
F the people.
Dude, F the people.
Okay, so that's pretty much self-explanatory. America's stupid.
Stupid. Really
Parents
stupid.
are too concerned these days. Your kids are gonna get hurt, and that's part of growing up.
You want to hear how the article ends? They tried to contact one of these bounce house companies.
These poor bounce house
Yeah.
companies.
The last sentence in the article. Calls to spacewalk were not returned.
You know what?
No, F!
The manager got in, checked the messages, and thought, what the fuck is this? And then he just hit delete. Like, this is stupid. Of course kids get hurt. Anyway.
Yeah, if you have kids and you're listening thinking, well, that's relevant, you're wrong. Number one, if you don't want your kids getting hurt, don't let them jump up and down together.
No.
In a little enclosed area.
Would you let your kids jump in a thingy?
Absolutely.
Good. You're a good
I will.
parent.
I did. I did it maybe like twice or 3 times as a kid. I got terrified. I don't like anarchy.
Yeah.
In a bounce house, there's nothing but
I
anarchy.
made up my own decision to not do that sort of thing. 'Cause
I saw
was
many
afraid.
bounce houses collapse on
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, that's a thing. Mm-hmm.
And I was on the outside like, That's why I didn't get in there. I'm out here eating cake and getting my face painted.
You're a face paint kid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I always tried to take over and paint my own face.
Okay. Well, good for you.
I thought I'd do a better job. But anyway, so, Bigfoot.
All right, Bigfoot. Guy in Vermont saw Bigfoot. Has video of Bigfoot going through his apple orchard, destroying stuff.
Is real video?
He has video, yeah, look it up.
What should we tube? I want to look it up right now, but I can't.
I'm sure if you look it up, Guy in Vermont, something about Vermont man, Bigfoot video, apple orchard, I don't know.
Vermont man, Bigfoot video, apple orchard.
Those are all keywords,
Google
is what
that,
I'm saying.
and this footage will come up, okay.
At first I thought it was deer. It's not a deer, it's a huge, grunty, hairy, ape-like man.
So potentially this is a homeless guy?
No, he's an apple orchard owner. So he's...
No, I'm talking about Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So, the Department of Fish and Wildlife in Vermont told the guy it was probably just an owl. But he's saying, no, I have video, here it is, and people will refuse to watch this video. Coincidentally, this story came out the same time this other research is, by the way, this is research done by an institution that is not connected to anything legitimate. So,
this isn't news?
This is news, yeah.
No, this isn't news, Megan.
Okay, yeah, it's the same story over and over. I think this is just a staple, a news staple.
This is another one of those stories.
Red glowing eyes, about 7 feet tall, making a sound like a pig squealing or a woman screaming.
This segment just makes me sad.
Okay, well, you wanted it.
No, well, we need to talk about it. We need to talk about the news being
Look
awful.
up the video. Judge for yourself, people. Judge for yourself.
I hate news, people.
But-
Did you know that Stockton local Fox News did a story on...
Already, Fox News is immediately the National Enquirer.
Well, my friend Ramon
On
sent
par.
me a link to a news story in Stockton of the token Asian lady news anchor doing a story on the food stamp challenge, in which you have to spend 4 something a day on food as a challenge to yourself and to see if you can get by. And the whole story was basically her going to Taco Bell, ordering some tacos, and filming her eat the tacos. And then it was over.
Okay, I'm pissed. That's retarded.
I just don't know about the news.
So I'm telling you, it's really sad. It makes you just tired.
I'm tired.
Well, do you want the controversy or do you want the onion story?
Let's do the controversy.
So, 7-year-old gets diagnosed with leukemia. Her mother,
Oh, give that kid weed.
boom, gives her cannabis capsules.
Oh, capsules?
Yeah.
Dude, feed that kid those capsules.
But the whole story it's not doing anything. Well, that's what here comes the controversy.
Okay.
Do you think the mother swears up and down that she swears up and down in the healing power of marijuana. So I'm just thinking, that's a pothead mom.
Mm-hmm.
She also takes cannabis capsules, surprise, surprise, for her kidney/liver disease, and claims that it has saved her life. No, it hasn't. No, don't go that far.
Yeah, that's pushing it a little bit. So the mom is already popping the pills, basically, and then the kid gets sick and she just has them around, and then she feeds her kids the pills, right?
The kid but the kid has gotten better, and she says this is all thanks to the healing properties of cannabis, which I think, personally, I do have an opinion about this. I think that's retarded. The cannabis is not healing you. And even the doctors are, her whole issue is that all these doctors get mad when she asks for it for her 7-year-old. Mm-hmm. But they legally have
to give it to him.
If that's
what's the illness again?
Leukemia.
How bad is leukemia?
Well, it can kill you.
And the kid to have it.
It could get better.
Yeah. Okay,
it's really bad for kids.
It's bad. It's potentially could kill you.
Potentially could, but she's gotten better. Gotten better. It's not like it's unheard of or rare for children to live after having leukemia, to make it through. It's not like she's definitely. It's not. They haven't diagnosed it as being terminal leukemia. So that's why the doctors are kind of mad.
Do we know if she's fully come out of it and she's still eating these pills?
She hasn't fully come out of it. I mean, she is responding bad to her treatment. It's not really her disease that she's responding badly to. She's responding badly to the treatment of the leukemia. And she's getting sick, and so mom gives her these cannabis pills. Now she is in remission. So the leukemia is in remission. So she is technically leukemia free right now.
And she's still eating the pills?
Or it's in remission, I should say.
She's so it's in remission. And she's still eating the pills?
Yeah. She
just for
the
fun
mom,
now?
Well, because she's still
the mom says that's why it's not coming back again.
Yeah, and she's saying you're still sick, and she responded badly to the cannabis, like she was acting funny and stuff at first, and her mom just said, they worked through it and now she feels good, but it's like you just made your kid have this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't know about it either.
But I'm not really big on the whole cannabis thing.
The whole legalization across the board, or the whole
I have no problem with it being legalized. I just think I'm not one of those people that's like, oh yeah, cannabis is awesome, and I think that
a believer in
I'm not a believer, yeah. I think that most of the people that fight for it just love to smoke weed, yeah. And I know a lot of pot smokers, and I won't say that they're, unmotivated. They are motivated, some of them, but I will say that I see, a general sense of life is not fair to me. I think that's, so lame. I don't know if it's the weed
I think there are bad versions of all, not addictive, but all, mind-altering substances. Yeah. There's always a bad version of that.
Yeah.
So I think it should be legalized, but yeah, I'm not a believer either. I mean, I think if it can do some stuff for you and not interfere with your life, go for it.
Well, if you are really, really sick and that makes you feel better, go ahead. Yeah. Take it, because when you're sick, I mean, you take prescription drugs that are jacking your body.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say definitely smoke some weed before you take a handful of random pills out of a bag.
Yeah, or even, all the painkillers that get prescribed for, chronic pain or whatever, they're really bad for you. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of damage to your body.
Yeah, my aunt takes a baggie, or I don't know if she still does, but for a long time she got rid of some cancer, and then they gave her all these pills afterwards, and every time I see her pull out that bag, it's horrific. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she probably would be fine if she just smoked weed.
I don't know if you're fine, but
it'd probably solve all her problems.
Well, yeah. So I personally think I'm not too into that idea.
I would like to just talk to this kid, is what I'd like to do. That's another one of my beefs with news. I'd like to sit down with the kid and say, "What do you think, buddy? What if that kid is either loving those pills or not even thinking about the pills and being weirdly altered every day?"
Well, check this out. This is what the mom said. She says, it took a while for her to get adjusted to it. She acted funny when she first started taking it, and after a while gained tolerance.
See that phrase, now when she takes funny.
Now when she takes it, you can't even tell. She's very normal. Then she says that she knew she'd done the right thing the day that she missed a dose of her cannabis pills and threw up when her sister like opens some string cheese at the smell. So that to her, in her mind, that solidified, oh yes, see, she's sick when she doesn't have these pills.
Yeah.
And then she says she actually asks for her dose now. And that's adding that she's less perky without it. As if that's a good thing. It's like, oh, good job. So you just...
She asks for her marijuana pills now.
And she's less perky when she doesn't have them. And throws up. So
this makes perfect sense.
So you can't really say that that's healing her.
You know what all these stories leave me with a sense of, too? Is like, I'm unsettled that we won't know what happens now. Because now I'm concerned, and I'll probably forget about it, but still, this kid, something serious is going to happen there, and there won't be a follow-up story.
Yeah,
because the news doesn't care about that.
Yeah, exactly. And the end of it says that it's a new ethical problem because you've got a medication which is known to have psychoactive effects, and the parents are giving it to a child when the child doesn't have much choice in the matter. So they're altering their child's brain. Mm-hmm. It's not just... And their brain is so fragile. It's developing.
And that to me, I would say, like, it isn't strictly a marijuana thing is why I have beef. Yeah. I think even if it was some other prescription, I would probably get really upset too. Yeah. I mean, we're not picking on marijuana. Yeah. Necessarily.
I pick on it only because people get behind that it's natural. Yeah. And acting like it's not on par with other medications. Right. I think it absolutely is. Yeah. It's the same thing. And
people self-medicate across the board.
Yeah. And just because it's natural, people throw the natural card in all the time. And
this is actually good. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
I don't know. I just think that's weak because, like, okay, look at coffee. I can drink coffee.
I love coffee.
All the time. I love coffee. I have to drink it every day. But it's clear that I'm addicted. When I don't have coffee, I get a severe, severe headache, and I feel like I'm in a fog. And so, but I don't think, coffee is making me not sick. It's like anti-headache medication. Yeah. It's not. My body's addicted to the substance in coffee. And if you don't
get it,
then it's going through withdrawals.
So you just get effed up and you just get tricked into being normalized.
So I'm never going to say, it's the coffee that's keeping me this way. It's my brain is addicted to the chemical in the coffee. And so how do you feel about addiction? Yeah. And I feel kind of bad for kids that are forced into an addiction. It sounds like she undeniably is addicted. Yeah. To and that kind of sucks. She's only 7.
Yeah. Oh man.
But her mom is acting like, and a lot of people that are in favor of, the medicinal properties of cannabis or marijuana, they always act like it has some kind of special powers, and it doesn't. Yeah. It just doesn't. And it does. Another thing I notice about the people I know that habitually smoke marijuana, they are sick constantly. They get sick so much. Really? And yeah, a doctor here said that if it does anything, what is it?
That's news to me.
If it does anything, it decreases immunity. The doctor said it doesn't. Yeah. And that is so true. Every pothead that I know, they're always sick. They've always got little sniffles. They're always sick. I'm never sick.
I need to look into that. I need to look into that later.
But, and it's fine. I'm not saying it's some evil thing. I'm just saying know what you're doing to your body. You're not doing something great for it.
That's interesting because my talk with Ramon yesterday was about all this stuff too. So we got a little theme going. Oh, maybe I'll get an interview with some weed later or something. Yeah. We'll really get to the bottom of this weed thing.
My bottom line is smoke all the weed you want if that's what you want to do as a grown person, but don't hide behind that it's natural or that you think it's not doing. Just own that you like to smoke weed. I definitely don't believe in the
miracle of alcohol.
Oh yeah, exactly. Just own that you like to smoke weed.
I don't go home and drink wine and think this is so good for me.
Yeah. Well, wine, it is kind of good for you.
You're right.
One glass.
Okay, 1 glass, but not 3. I had 3 last night.
Exactly. 3 is actually terrible.
It's not twice as good or 3 times as good for you. So moderate yourselves, people.
Yeah, and just say you like to smoke weed because...
Not including me. I don't need to monitor myself.
Whatever, yeah.
But everybody else... Be responsible.
Own your addictions if you have them. Please, seriously. People. Own it.
Own it. Love it.
And if you don't like it, stop it. Own up to the fact that you're going to have to go through some uncomfortable stuff to not be addicted.
I don't know about that. But...
I don't know. If you don't like it, I'm saying, if you say, I'm not addicted, and then you have to say, well, I guess I am addicted.
Okay, what about me?
I don't want to be addicted. So take the steps to change
the
it.
thing I took from the Ramon conversation and this is, yeah, I'm addicted. And then my immediate thought after is, that sucks. And then I don't know if I was that owning it, or is that just...
You know what?
Sad.
I know that I'm addicted to coffee. I've had to come to terms. I'm addicted to coffee. I just am. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be addicted to coffee, but I don't want to go through the grumpiness and the withdrawal period.
It's a big grumpy period.
I'm really grumpy. See, that's what I was saying. What is that?
I don't know. Keep going, though. You're really grumpy.
I have a terrible headache, and that's just the sad reality. Is like, man, I am addicted to this, but to wean myself off just sucks. So
yeah, it's
not that. So I have to say, well, of all the things I could be addicted to, I guess it's not that bad. But is it? What do we know about coffee? Not that much yet.
All studies that I've read show that coffee's the best of the addictions.
Well, it makes me feel the best, that's for sure. Until I don't have it.
Yeah.
Then I feel the worst. Or until I have too much.
Oh,
and that's terrible. But, so this is the thing about, you gotta take a look at yourselves, people. What are you addicted to? Either say, yeah, I'm addicted, and that's the way it's gonna be. Say, hey, I'm addicted, I don't like it, I don't want to be addicted. Take the steps to not be addicted. Or shut up. Just keep doing your thing.
I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'll just waddle through until it becomes a big issue, like most things. And then, I don't know, ultimately it'll be alright.
And for all you youngsters listening, don't even start any of this stuff.
Be like Ramon Villalobos.
Don't create the problem for yourself if you're hearing about it. It's real.
Listen to Ramon, kids. I know a lot of kids listen to this.
Yeah,
so we should talk to them. A lot of children listen to this podcast. So kids, listen to Ramon. Don't do drugs and don't drink unless you want to, unless you're curious.
And then just know what you're getting into. You'll struggle with it for the rest of your life. So.
But it's not that bad.
But it kind of is.
I don't think it's that bad, but...
Depends.
Kids, it's probably going to be fine, actually. I'm okay, generally speaking. Is that what we want to tell the kids?
You tell the kids whatever you want. I'm saying don't do it. Take it from
I like your morals, Megan.
Take it from me. Don't start it.
You got morals. I respect that. I respect that in you, and I respect that in Ramon. So I think the theme of this show is going to be morals and addictions.
Do you have them?
Do you have them? Do you want them? Oh, yeah, that's what I'll do. Later on, maybe I'll do a new segment of like some really like appealing substance that might be new that people want to try out.
Why?
I don't know. I'm bad. I'm a bad person. Oh, we're at 30 minutes. We should get going.
Dang.
Say bye, Megan.
Bye.
What kind of bye is that? Say a better bye.
Goodbye!
There we go. You heard it from that person. Bye. Podcast, Lunchtime Variety Show Podcast, Lunchtime. We got an exclusive interview coming up with none other than Molly the cat, or known to her foes as Mad Daddy Molly, and she's gonna speak with us on her thoughts about addiction. We're gonna visit her in her cell right now, and just to be warned, things might get unpleasant. So here we are with Molly the kitty cat, or Mad Daddy Molly. Molly, are you okay? Molly, what are your thoughts on addiction? Do you want to talk? Talk to the people, Molly. What do you think about your addictions? Are you sad? How long have you been eating cat food? Really? Do you think about it every day? What about your mom, Molly? Tell us about your mom. Oh my god, I didn't know that.
What the heck? That's not true.
Molly. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You don't know how hard I work to feed you.
Dana, watch out! Podcast, Lunchtime Variety Show Podcast. Hey everybody. This is our artifacts segment for the show. I'm outside of my building right now on my lunch break, and Dana has the car, so I'm just out in the cold, rainy weather. And today's artifact comes from a heavy hitter in the art history, overall, the history of art, Andy Warhol. And his quote, I thought, was good and related to addiction. So this is Andy Warhol's quote. Sometimes people let the same problem make them miserable for years when they could just say, so what? That's one of my favorite things to say. So what? This has been Artifacts. What should we call this segment? I've been naming segments after whatever is currently going to happen. So,
are you recording right now? Uh-huh. Is this whole car bugged?
Mm-hmm. It's recording right now.
No, it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
How? Where?
Phone.
Oh, the phone's on right now? It's recording? Oh, you've been recording this whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, my head's definitely not longer than yours, for the record.
I like to get people candid at first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But,
what should we call the segment? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
You're asking for what's current?
Well, what were we talking about before?
You were talking about growing up Mexican in the 90s.
Okay.
You were talking about
being
straight edge.
Yeah.
No, I gave you like a tiny, tiny piece of it online.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
You got more?
I got more.
Okay.
What do you...
No, I got more.
You think that's all there is?
No, there's plenty in there.
Because just for the audience, all I said was that when I was growing up in Tracy, I went to like a predominantly Mexican school.
Right.
But not so predominantly that like all the classes were in Spanish. Mm-hmm. So to fill a quota of Spanish-speaking classes that they could have and get funded by the government, they had to have a certain number of students enrolled in it. And so what would happen is every day I would go to school, I would go into the Spanish-speaking class because my name is Ramon Villalobos. It's a very like Mexican-sounding name.
Very Mexican.
And then they'd say, okay, hot or cold lunch or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, hot, because I was on that government money. So we were getting we were getting that welfare money.
See, still my lunch is packed, but I went to a largely Mexican school too, and I dealt with the same thing, which you can keep going.
Oh, you did that too?
Yeah.
So every day they would say, okay, Ramon Villalobos, you're here. Okay, cool. Go to the English class. So I would have to like walk down the hall. It was like the longest hall ever. You're so alone there, and I was the only one that was like that. So I was the only like fucking Spanish or like Mexican kid that like didn't understand a word of Spanish. So then you would go into the class, and then everyone was kind of already in it. So you'd walk into there feeling already kind of excluded from whatever was going on.
Exactly. Yeah, I hated that too. I dealt with the exact same thing. I didn't get put in the Spanish class, but I was definitely singled out as the white Mexican.
Oh yeah, see that's
school.
I didn't get singled out as that. Like I think I talked about it on that single show that I did that you like only you listened to.
Yeah,
but
Eli listened to it too.
Oh, Eli doesn't exist. So, anyways, no, I would go there, to school, and like I would never feel singled out as like the only white Mexican kid because I just, at such a young age, that's not a thing that registers to most people.
Right.
Like you don't like quantify people in like terms of how Mexican they are. That doesn't happen until later. And by the time I was going to a mostly white school.
Oh, okay.
So like by that point, I was kind of just like everybody else.
Yeah, you seem like more oblivious to a lot of stuff that I think definitely more sensitive to as a kid, because. Like, when you were talking about not realizing it until later, I was like, no, like...
You realized... But you went to a predominantly Mexican school, though. How long, though?
I went from elementary school... Like, my elementary school experience was one school, kindergarten through 6th grade, and then I went to...
But that whole time was all Mexican, right?
Yeah.
See, I went from from kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade, then I moved to, like, just a completely white school.
Oh, okay.
It was just like as white as it can get. It was just like out in the country in Manteca. So like it completely switched, and so there was no like, oh, he's the only, like, to some of those kids I was the most Mexican thing that was there that was going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fact that I didn't speak Spanish meant nothing to them, because they were just like, well, he's still like fucking he's still swarthy. He's still swarthy as fuck. He's still
What kind of stuff did you wear when you were little?
Oh, just whatever my mom.
Just whatever your mom got? I was like obsessed with getting like more adult-oriented clothing. So I'd have...
well, you still still do.
But I mean, in elementary school, I would like me and my brother would get my mom to take us to like this place over here called Fashion Avenue, and they sold like those Pipes jeans and Dickie shorts and like the hell Mexican button-up stuff.
You wore that?
Yeah, we got my mom to buy us like 2 things each.
That's
and
rad.
then we wore it like all week long. We were hella cool in elementary school.
See, the most Mexican thing I ever like got dressed up as was like on Cinco de Mayo. There'd be like a big.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
It would be like a big party, right?
Right.
Like in the school.
Yeah.
Though, you know, going to a Mexican school, you would just be completely acknowledge it, and like it was super reverent.
Yeah.
So like we'd be dressed head to toe in like black pants, but they were like black belt buckle. Cowboy boots.
Okay.
No cowboy hat though, because it was school.
Yeah.
But it's like button up black shirt that was just like super Mexican looking. I looked like I was in a
those, what do they call those things?
Boleros?
Boleros, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't wear one. I might have actually.
A lot of my friends were there, and this is actually, you just reminded me, because I would have those experiences, and all my friends would be in that gear, the gear you're talking about, but I made the mistake of like wearing this thing that my mom got for my grandma, which was a traditional like hella Mexican, you know, the
like a poncho or
no.
Well, because I had one of those and I really wanted to wear it because I thought it was like a cape. You know what I mean? That's badass.
No, it was a full black suit and it was embroidered with this white swirly thing.
Okay, I know what you mean. Yeah. So
it had
just
a
like
little jacket to it,
like
and
the tiny, like a mariachi band.
Yeah. Old school mariachi stuff, and nobody, for some reason, nobody thought it was like really awesome. I thought I was gonna be super cool and popular.
It seems like a lot of your childhood is like predicated on you just thinking you're gonna be super cool and popular, and then just not following through for you.
Yeah,
I never had that. I never had those high standards for myself.
I did.
I was always like, everyone's gonna hate me. Everyone's gonna dislike me.
Well, what's funny is that everybody ended up hating me and disliking me in a lot of areas, but I never let go of that. Like,
yeah.
That I thought I was cooler.
Yeah, I was
so sure of certain things.
I think I told you before, but I had like really like hardcore social anxieties when I was a kid. Like whenever school would start, I wouldn't know how to deal with it. And I didn't tell you this, but like my grandmother, that first day when I went to that Mexican school, I was just super freaked out because it was like going to it was like culture shock, you know?
Yeah.
And I just didn't know, like, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know how to talk to anybody. Like, recess was just completely different. It's like, I mean, especially for someone that young as being like second grade.
I can't imagine doing that, because I had the same school for the whole time, but yeah.
Well, because like what happened was in Tracy, during recess, it would just be like massive swarms of kids running back and forth playing soccer. Yeah. Just like chaotic games of soccer with like big, massive
I watched
groups.
those.
Yeah, I did too. I wasn't in them. I played it like maybe twice and I sucked. So I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Me and my friends, we used to dig for dinosaurs.
You serious?
Yeah.
I would dig in the sandbox under the slide, but it wasn't for dinosaurs. I knew dinosaurs weren't going to be there.
I figured dinosaurs wouldn't be there too, but see, I knew it wasn't going to be in the sand, so we would just dig holes everywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that too.
It was like dinosaurs treasure.
Did you ever search for, treasure, Indian clay?
Yeah.
Indian clay, and it was like cat shit a lot of the time.
We did dig for Indian clay a lot. I forgot completely about that. But yeah, we totally dug for that. It was like red dirt, right? That you just wanted to like mold into things.
Yeah, exactly.
What we used to do too is we couldn't afford that like gack or putty or whatever. Remember that shit where like kids just like slimy shit.
Jesse Turner had gack. I didn't have gack.
Jesse Turner.
He always had everything.
He's a dick.
He is.
We got like flour and water and we just like mixed that up and it was just like dough. And we would play with that. It would just be salt, flour, and water.
My aunt did that. She made that for me.
My mom gave it to me in like a.
Did you put food coloring on it?
No food coloring.
Oh,
we weren't that crazy. We just put it in a Tupperware dish, and we took it and like we would ball it up, and sometimes we would just throw it into the street when cars pass by.
Do you think that's a specific Mexican thing, the homemade Play-Doh? Or do you think it crosses over?
That might cross over.
I think so,
that probably
too.
does.
Yeah, I should hope so. I mean, if white people haven't been doing that.
Fucking get on it.
I know. I was listening to that solo show, I was like, I kept pointing at the computer screen like, yeah, no, you're right. And I think a lot of, that's like a specific point in time where like we're twice removed Mexican, kind of, right?
Yeah, no, it's a second generation.
Right.
And actually, like, statistically, we're most third generation Mexicans. Well, I am, like, my parents are from here, but my grandparents were from Mexico.
Yeah.
Third generation Mexicans, they don't speak Spanish. They're not like a, that's not like a thing.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people kept the Spanish, though, and I never got it, and I think that's where a lot of splits happen.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I just think that's a significant pocket of time, and it's not going to happen again, ever. And now it's just going to get super, like, American, don't you think? Like, swirling the culture more? There's
a lot of immigrants, dude.
Yeah.
There's so many
That's
Mexicans that, like, I mean, I don't know, maybe by that, because you think by that point a lot of it would have died out anyways. I mean, Mexicans were indigenous to the region.
That's true.
But I don't know. I think maybe you're right on some of it. I think what won't happen anymore, though, is we grew up in a time where being Mexican, it was not, like, a big thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas now there are, like, there's a lot of Mexicans in popular entertainment. Yeah. There's a lot of Latin things in popular entertainment. Like, the most popular show was, like, Modern Family, and that has Salvadorians or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just, like, it's a thing that's now around. I think I was telling you, when I was growing up, I didn't understand what being, like, Mexican was, really. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew that my family was, but I didn't register. Like, it fucked me up when I registered, like, oh, that lady has a super Mexican face, like one of my aunts.
Yeah.
I was like, her face is so goddamn Mexican. But that wasn't until I was, like, in the 5th grade when I started, like, really looking at faces and, like studying them.
Yeah.
And, like, it kind of, like, it was weird because, like, growing up, none of my family, like, none of the people that I saw in TV were Mexican.
Okay.
Like, all families were either white, black, and, like, occasionally you get an Asian or two Asians.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I never got that either. Mexicans never get that. Well, recently, yeah, but I don't know why it took so long.
Just because who gives a shit, really?
Yeah, well, yeah, we don't speak up, too, I think a lot of it is.
Yeah.
We don't really care too much.
I think, like, a big part of Mexican culture, and I've told people about this before, is just, like, you don't want to impose on people.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to impose, and you also, like, people, like, we're just born humble.
Mm-hmm. We are.
You just don't want to be, like, you like, I was telling you about the pretension thing earlier.
Yeah.
I was telling you about the pretension thing earlier. You want to strip that away because it's just uncomfortable.
Right.
Like, I think a lot of Mexicans are like that, where they don't like things to be too fancy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like to make too big of a show of themselves. Mm-hmm. In most regards,
No, I think so, too. And a lot of that I don't even realize is a Mexican thing until, like you're saying, way later on in life.
Yeah, because I would talk to people, like, whenever I have on our show, I have a black dude and a white dude on my show. And I always ask them, like...
we should say the name of it for people.
Instant Leftovers Podcast, The Last Honest Podcast.
It's the podcast that inspired me to create Lunchtime Variety Show Podcast, which is a pretty big deal now.
It's huge.
I mean, I think we've actually showed you up quite a bit. Like, we get way more plays than you guys do.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Isn't
I'm
that
happy.
sad?
I'm happy to, like, be behind it, though.
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to say that I was outdoing you, even though I just started. That's all.
That's... That's alright.
Just kidding. We don't get that many plays. We got like 30 plays first episode. But anyway, what were you saying?
I forgot. You completely ruined everything I had going in my head. Just shattered it all.
I just attacked you. Sorry about that.
This wasn't an attack. I hope it's more successful than mine. Because then when I come on this, people will listen to mine.
That's true. Yeah, that's really true.
Maybe.
I don't know. But, oh shoot, though. It's gonna be quick. What else do we need to get onto?
We were gonna talk about being straight edge.
Oh, okay. I think that's important.
That's important?
Yeah, I do think it's important, especially for me because
You're an alcoholic.
I'm an alcoholic, and I was listening to your solo podcast, and you actually get into it a little more than I wanted to give you more credit because you're always saying straight edge, and that's like totally like outdated and lame. Like,
well, I didn't adopt the straight edge thing till
Right.
after it was dead.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
that.
what I thought. I always think that, but I wanted to give you that credit. It's like Ramon's not gonna, like form his identity off of this weird dated thing, but you are really nostalgic. So I was like, well, maybe.
Well, I wasn't straight edge until way after the fact that it had kind of died out.
Yeah.
Like I remember when kids were like doing the X's on their hands, and I would make fun of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would say like, oh, look at this fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Exactly. Okay, so what I want to know is the thoughts behind it. I know, and I think a lot of it, I talked to you about this before, is that you decide to be straight edge, and I think we're mid-20s now, so by at this point, it's just...
It's done.
It's done,
It's
right?
already passed.
Yeah.
Well, I decided to not drink or do drugs when I was like 3, 4.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I became aware of what drinking and like what alcohol was and stuff, I knew I didn't want to do it. And I think part of it was just because I mentioned to you before that my grandmother was a DJ. Mm-hmm. So she would always have these big parties at her house, and like they would be like just basically keggers. And they'd be huge, and people would just be getting drunk constantly. And I would see my uncles who would just be like getting wasted.
Yeah.
Like at an early age, I would just see it regularly, like routinely. I would see them get drunk. And like over time, just seeing a gradual like degradation of a human being with drugs and alcohol, like you see their teeth fall out and like fucking they get all weathered in the face, and like they're way older than other people next to them that are the same age.
I will confess that does weigh on me because I have a lot of uncles and aunts too. Not all of them drink, but some do, and you see that.
Yeah, not all of mine do either, and like. A lot of my family didn't drink when I was younger. Like my mom and dad didn't drink until like more recently, individually too, because my mom and dad separated when I was like 4.
Oh, okay.
But just growing up around that, I always thought, it's not really my thing.
Yeah.
Like I never was really interested in it. And I remember my mom too. She would, she would be pretty proactive in telling us not to do that kind of stuff when we were younger. My mom was actually like really strict with me not to like curse at all.
Yeah.
And like she was pretty strict with us in a lot of regards. Like we had to say our prayers, like Catholic prayers.
Oh, okay.
And the thing was like the Catholic prayers didn't register with me.
Yeah, because it was just like.
Yeah. Like, it was something I just had to memorize.
Yeah, exactly.
The other stuff like didn't really like the other stuff. I didn't take personally. Like it wasn't an affront to just not do something that she wanted us to do, or that she wanted us to not do. I mean, so like she would get a video where it'd be like all the popular like the hot cartoon characters being like, "Don't do drugs."
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yeah. I always.
That's a good. That doesn't hold up very well.
No.
The Smurfs and the Garfield.
Yeah, I never.
Michelangelo.
I never bought into any of that don't do drugs stuff, or as a kid, but I never wanted to do drugs either.
Yeah.
I always felt like I was being played, and I didn't appreciate it. And at the same time, I still didn't. I was scared of drugs more than didn't want to do them. And I think that's like I'm trying to wrap my head around. Because I see a lot of overlap between us, and I guess that's why I wanted to know your thoughts on it, because we were raised with strong morals, both of us, and you kind of decided on your own real quick, and you seem to have, like, more of a aggressiveness, and, like, you just hold on to them, and you own them, and I think mine is more birthed out of, like, a fear, and I think that's... admirable. I mean,
but my whole thing was like afraid of being like my uncles and stuff. Like, like a big part of it is just like I see them, I see how they've turned out, and I didn't want to be like that even as a really young kid.
Yeah. And
also like another thing was like I'm super obedient of like rules and laws and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when I don't cross the street unless there's a fucking cross light generally.
Really?
Like, yeah, because only assholes do that. Like if somebody's driving towards you and you like are crossing the street and they have to like stop, they're driving like a big ass car and I just don't want to do that unless there's a completely clear street. You know? I always try to obey like all the laws.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, I was like, I'm just really afraid of authority.
Really?
I'm just super like, I don't want to break any rules. I want to just play things by the book. And
so did that morphed into
that was part of it. Like when I was younger, I always thought like, man, that kid, my friends are doing drugs. Like that's against the law. Like I don't want like a cop to pull us over and like whatever. Like I don't want to get stopped and have alcohol in my breath because then I have to confront my parents about it, and I didn't want my mom to get pissed at me. The first time I got like a citation in school was like devastating to me. And it was something I didn't even do. Like, my friend took a washer off of a bench. Yeah. And, like, he handed it to me. And I was like, oh, cool, whatever. Like, I was handing it, and the yard duty saw it. She's like, what are you doing? Dude, I was like, I didn't do anything.
That happened to me with a Sharpie in the bathroom. Like, my friend gave me a Sharpie to use on a drawing later, but Sharpies were banned, of course. Yeah. Because of tagging and stuff, and I got written up, too. And it was terrifying.
It was I was like, never again. I'm never going to do this again, Acted like I had done hard time in jail and shit. So like, I'm changing my life. I'm going to be a new person. And then when I switched schools, I was late. Slate? Oh, yeah, but when I switched schools, I totally thought New Slate, actually. That's a funny thing, was, like, I was getting, like, D's on all my grades and stuff when I was in, like, 4th grade. And then when I switched, I'm like, oh, I can be, like, a whole new person. Like, short of changing my name, I just acted completely differently.
Really?
Yeah.
You, like, made a conscious effort to...
Yeah, just, like, be smart.
Whoa.
And I got all A's after that. I was, like, a straight A student up until 8th grade. But going into 3rd grade, I was getting, like, C's and D's. And I would always get marked up like, he talks too much in class, he's disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. After that, I was like practically a teacher's pet. Like, teachers loved me. What?
At the age of 4, you said?
No, in 4th grade.
Oh, okay.
4th grade, and then 5th, and then I switched mid-year. So, like, half of 4th grade, I was getting, just, like, really bad report cards and shit. And then when I switched schools, I just got, like, all A's. I was just like, I wanted to be a smart kid.
That's a good story. That's a success story right there.
And what happened was I got late to school, though, because we had to walk to school, so sometimes I'd just be late. I'd be running late. Mm-hmm. And I got in trouble, and they called me to the office, like, you have too many, late marks. We're going to have to give you detention, for, like, 30 minutes or whatever. Yeah. And I freaked the fuck out. I, like, practically started crying, and the teachers were like, oh, it's really not a big deal, just don't do it anymore. Like, they were trying to console me. I was like, you don't understand. I was like, the washer, and I'm going to get in so much trouble. I'm like, no, it's all right. It's not your fault. I just, like, broke down. I couldn't believe, like, all this, like you said, all the success I had made. Yeah. And then it was like, they were like, no. You were late too many times. I fucking lost it.
Dude, I can totally relate to that feeling. I was terrified of that stuff, too. So, I think my basic assumptions about you were pretty dead on. Yeah, I'd say pretty dead on. Pretty good judgment of character, I think. But that's cool. Oh, man.
What, you already have to leave?
Yeah, I only got 30 minutes of lunch break, dude. Oh, okay. I wish we had, like, an hour. But we covered the
basics?
Yeah, the basics. Would you want to come back?
Maybe sometime.
Yeah, I mean...
If we could, like, do it for more than 30 minutes, it'd be better.
Yeah, seriously.
Because, like, yeah, I took, like, 40 minutes to get here.
I know. Huh?
I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, I thought you got an hour break. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know.
We could take longer. Let's just take longer, and then I'll wait longer after work. I think I can do that.
You sure?
Yeah.
I can leave.
No. I think it's better if we talk longer. Plus, it's really hard to get... up to an hour on my podcast. I've been realizing this Lunchtime Variety Show is problematic, and that each lunch break is only 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But, anyway, what were we talking about?
I don't know, we were just finishing up, or not finishing up the straight edge thing, we were just talking about being, my whole straight edge thing. I didn't start calling myself straight edge until I started seeing it as a joke on wrestling.
Yeah, okay.
Like, there's a wrestler who, like, says he's straight edge, he's like, I'm straight edge, I'm better than you, and, like, he would just do all kinds of, like, fucked up shit.
But he didn't do drugs, or...
No, he doesn't do drugs. He has, like, he has drug-free on his knuckles, and he has, like, straight edge on his stomach like Tupac.
No way.
Yeah.
That's another thing I wonder about the straight edge thing. Like, is it strictly drugs or alcohol? Or does it...
Like, because a lot of things straight edge is, like, no caffeine and, like...
Yeah.
No pain pills and stuff like that. I don't do, like, any kind of unprescribed drugs. Mm-hmm. I don't really do any, like... I don't take aspirin unless I really, really am pushed to the limit.
Really?
Yeah.
It's, like, to that point?
Yeah, and I don't, like... What?
I can't even comprehend that. Like, I can't even wrap
I just don't want to be chemically influenced by things. Okay. I don't like the dependency that can kind of come with that stuff. Yeah. It's like... it is a slippery slope. Like...
Oh, it's definitely a slippery slope. I mean, every day you have to monitor it and then judge how much is too much or too little, and your internal gauge is never even accurate, so...
That's why I completely quit drinking soda, was just like, I felt like, at one time I was like really craving it, like, oh, fuck, I really want some soda right now. And it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I felt like walking to the corner store.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm really fucking, like, addicted to this shit. Like, and it has addictive properties in it.
Yeah, yeah.
So then, like, the next day, I think I had my last soda, and it was like, well, that's it, no more. And it was just like that. It was just like, one day I was like, you know what? I can't be saying I'm straight edge all the time if I'm drinking sodas, and like if I'm, because this was the thing people were calling on me too. It was like, oh, you say you're straight edge, but you always drink soda, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
so I'm like, all right, fuck it then. I'm not going to drink soda anymore.
That's insane. I am like blown away by your conviction.
Yeah, you know what I've been really proud about too? Huh. It's like, lately, because I'm talking about like...
You know what I'm really proud about too?
Because I'm pretty happy about the soda thing.
Yeah.
I'm like proud of myself for doing
why
that.
shouldn't you be? Yeah.
Exactly. It's just like it's a willpower thing that's been running for a while.
Yeah, exactly. You've been killing it.
But aside from that, though, like just reformatting my brain, I sometimes do that from time to time. Like when you write letters, here I'll show you an example if I can get out of the thing real quick. When I completely changed the way I write A's and T's.
Oh, really?
T's is like a thing that I'm doing now, but A's was like for the longest time I
changed my
working
A's in elementary school, but they reverted.
Oh, did they?
But I can't remember the last time I actually wrote something down.
So like, I write things down all the time, like notes and stuff. Okay. So I used to write A's like this, right?
Uh-huh.
Now I write A's like this.
Dude, that's the same A switch I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When you were a kid?
Yeah, how can we explain that visually?
It just looks like an A on a computer.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
and my T too.
Over it and the little bubble in the middle.
Yeah, my T used to be that, or it still is that, but I'm switching it to this right here. So there's more like a...
I'm not a fan of that T.
I like that T.
should have done that.
No, that's happening.
Okay, well, I mean, I admire your attempts and whatever, but...
I'm just trying to make my writing look nice.
Yeah, well, I just don't agree that looks nicer, but...
It does look nicer.
Okay. Well,
but because, like, when I write it, it makes me slow down a little bit, too.
Think about things a little more. You're a very thoughtful person, too. You're the only person that would write me a super long email.
Yeah,
and
for nothing.
For nothing. Reason. There's no reason. It was super thoughtful. I appreciated it a ton. I didn't even write you back.
No, you just talked to me.
I just talked to you. But I think that you definitely beat a lot of people, but I think you get off on that too, right?
I do what?
You like beat a lot of people.
How do you mean?
I mean beat like you win.
Oh.
You like to win.
Yeah, competitive.
Right? Yeah, you're
like
competitive.
we had a competition where we were trying to like convince one of our mutual friends who was smarter.
Yeah, Sean.
And that was like a thing where I'm like, no, I have to win this.
I gave up.
I'll even say hurtful things. That,
oh yeah, I know. Just to
well,
win.
I wasn't at first though, and he told me that you were saying, like he was saying he's attacking you right now, and you're not even doing anything about it.
I wasn't even saying actually.
He was saying that you were.
Oh well.
But he was drunk though.
Yeah, Sean was drunk, and he's got like a big heart. So.
What is that? He has a big heart.
He has a big heart. Like any little thing would have like
cut
him deep.
Maybe.
And then, but you did win that though. I'll agree. But whatever.
Did he tell you what I said?
Truthfully,
like put him out there. Did he say what you said?
Did
he say what? Did you ask him what I said?
He didn't. I wanted to hear it from your mouth.
But did you ask him what I said though?
No. I
didn't ask him what you said.
Oh really?
No.
I
didn't care because I figured you were probably.
It wasn't even that bad.
See, the thing is, like,
it was.
Sometimes I'll just say mean things, or I'll say things that are just like pushing what I actually believe.
Yeah.
I'll just go to the next thing just because I know, like, if this is just for the purpose of being called smarter than Daniel,
exactly.
I'll just say whatever I have to say to win the argument.
Yeah, that's awful. You should like reevaluate that.
No, man, because like you said, I'm just trying to win this. I'm just trying to beat you.
Yeah, that's true. It's petty. And I wouldn't even care anyways.
Even the mean things I said about you was still very complimentary, though.
That's true. You said I was too talented for my own good.
No, I said you were too talented to be as unsuccessful as you are.
Way too talented.
I was like, how does he have not way more fans musically? He's so talented. He has much more talent than I have. And yet I've managed to push this further than he has.
Yeah, I mean, it is fair to say, I will say that I have more talent than you, but I am definitely not as smart as you and can't present myself in a really concise way. Mm-hmm. So We can settle on that. Do you think we can both agree on that?
I think we can both agree on that.
And you can actually potentially catch up to me.
Talent-wise?
Yeah, and I can catch up to you.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't go that far.
You don't think so?
You're just like you're so like shy and bashful and everything. You're like so afraid to speak your mind to people. Because like when I got to know you, it's just like, oh, this is a different Daniel.
A different Daniel?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You're just less upfront about it. Like, you know how you said I'm upfront with people? Like,
yeah.
Like, you just don't seem to be that way, but you can be, like, when you're not. Like, I'm kind of the same way, where, like, when I first meet people, I'm afraid to, like, just say what's on my mind and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was really afraid to, like, whore myself out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting used to getting over that.
Yeah.
I think you need to do that, though.
You think I need to do that?
I think you just need to be, like... And, I mean, you did it for the Indiegogo thing.
Yeah.
You became more shamelessly self-promoting.
Yeah. I do need to get over that or else I'll just let my passions kind of die out, I think, eventually. Because if you don't get enough support for anything, it becomes... Well, no. Actually, in the middle of that thought, I just thought, no, there's no
Never
way.
mind.
There's no
You're
way.
wrong.
I was wrong about myself because there's no way I'm actually ever going to stop doing anything. I'll always have to do something. But I do think that you're right. I should start promoting and just shamelessly.
Yeah, I mean, when it's necessary.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, nobody wants to be a whore. Like, look at me, I'm doing this. But
some people do. They're called whores.
Okay. Well. Yeah, I guess some people would like to be whores and then they end up being whores. You're right.
Yeah, whores are. That's what they do. This is the definition of a whore.
Yeah, that's true. They do sexy things for money. Why are you putting the seatbelt on?
Well, did you hear what I just said?
What did you say?
I said it helps me feel secure.
Oh, okay.
It's your show.
Oh, yeah, okay. Wait, hold on. Okay. Let me set this up here.
Okay.
I gotta introduce you. Hey, everybody. It's... It's Lunchtime Variety Show Podcast Variety Show. And I'm your host, Daniel. And I'm here with a new celeb friend of mine named Kenneth Yates. And we're going to call this segment 10 with Ken. Just so we have a frame of reference, we're both on our third beer.
I'm just starting mine, so...
And what time is it? It's like 8 o'clock.
About 8 o'clock.
Thursday night.
We're in a car.
In a car.
It's windy, so there's leaves blowing around.
Mm-hmm. But it's not like, we're in a car, but we're not driving it, because that's against the law. But
is it stationary?
It's stationary?
The car?
The car is stationary, yeah.
Yeah. Not like it's made out of paper.
No, it's not paper. You're right, Kenny. It's not paper. The car isn't paper.
It's immobile. It's not moving.
It's not a mobile.
No, I'm
it's
like
immobile.
One of those things you put over
a
crib.
Yeah, it's a mobile for a baby.
It's not. No, it's not that.
Oh, okay.
It's just not moving.
Anyway, let me tell you why I have you here in my office.
Yeah, why is it?
Because I want the people to know you. I think you're a very likable guy.
Hey,
you're one of my best friends. Did you know that?
Hey, are you sure you've only had 2 beers? Hey, ask me why I'm not wearing any pants.
Why aren't you wearing any pants, Kenny?
Because you told me you wanted me to really expose myself.
And I think if people would really pay attention to your character a little more...
Yeah.
I mean, not that they have to, but I think if the more that people know about you, the more they'll like you. It's how I feel. I can't say that I genuinely feel that about anyone
else.
Well,
yeah,
not anyone else.
I meant to ask you earlier today, like, why is it that you just can't get enough of me?
Anyway, I don't care about what you're going to say.
Okay, well, if we're addressing the audience, I said that because we talk about every day.
Just about, not about.
Yeah, well, just about. Sorry.
No, whatever.
And then he's hungry for...
Just forget that. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll fix that in post. You could do that, right? Or do you edit it?
I could do that, but I probably won't. What the trick is to say fix it in post.
And then leave it.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard people say fix it in post and leave it, but I've never heard people say fix it in post and then talk about leaving it and leaving that.
That's because we're on the next level. This is why I wanted you here. I feel like a first 10 with Ken would be a childhood story. Could you first start it off by stating your age, location, and roughly like your background, and then you can go into your childhood story.
My current age, or my age at the time of the story?
Current age, and then like when you get to the story, you can do that. But current age, then blah blah blah.
Okay, I'm 24. I live in kind of like the Lincoln area of Stockton,
California,
because I know, yeah, this reaches international audience.
Mm-hmm. That's what the internet is.
Yeah. And then my background.
Your background. Are you nervous?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what to say about your background, do you?
Well, what's a background? Because
just give it
German, Irish, or popular like joke, skinny indie bitch, and that's a joke that like Melissa and like Nick Coleman have made. That's not, and I don't self-identify as that. I would never apply any single one of those words to myself.
Yeah, but you kind of are.
Well,
that's your shallow classification.
But I won't admit it.
Okay.
Well, and I don't feel that way. That's not how I feel that I am. So, that's not. But I totally get that. If you see me, if you're walking on a street and I'm walking the other direction, I'm gonna judge you that way. Yeah. You're not gonna be like, oh, maybe you're not gonna hold your woman close and be like, watch out for this guy. Yeah. Like, hold on to your purse, because you're gonna be like, oh my god, look at this. What? Skinny indie bitch. No, that's what I'm saying. You were pointing at something. No, it's just gesticulating. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Oh, that was it. We didn't decide on what story you were gonna tell. Yeah, well, you've got plenty. Well, I did have a childhood. There are stories. In there, yeah, I remember. I think quite a bit. I think compared to a lot of people. I think so. Because I have a good memory in general, I think. And I've never think of any. I guess what would be a good. See, and that's the thing. You have to say, like, tell me a childhood story about you and your dad. About me and my dad? I'd say, because you and your dad's pretty vital, and you think that's like part of the mythology? There's a lot of turning points that happen with you and your dad, I think. Okay, yeah. I sound like him kind of when I talk. That's why my voice is so gay. He calls me gay a lot too, even though I'm not. So that's interesting. You think there's anything behind that? I think he just thinks it's funny. He's really funny. He'll say like, "Hey Kenny, like I'm about to go take a shower," like stuff like that, like stuff that's funny. But you would think like you don't say that to your kid. You don't say that to your little boy. Well, I wasn't like 5 at the time. He would say that. He'd say that now. But well, here's a quick story of when I was a baby, and I was a baby and I was in the hospital, and for whatever reason, I guess I had like bruises on my wiener. Really? Yeah, and the doctors were like, "How'd those get there, Mr. Yates? Like, what happened?" What? Really? Yeah, they were like. You got something you want to tell us? Well, how many bruises can you even fit on a baby wiener? Just one all-encompassing bruise. That's what it was. It looked like a Tootsie Roll. I said I had a good memory. I remember. You remember? I remember that. How your baby dick looked? Yeah, but it wasn't him. It was me. I remember it was my first day, like, really finding out about it. As a baby? Yeah. That's another thing. When I was a kid, I had really extraordinarily, like, a crushing grip.
Wait, okay, hold on. So you're a baby.
Yeah.
Is this first day on the job?
Well, on that job. Not first day alive.
Not first day alive, but so you're saying as a baby child, you bruised your own baby wiener from...
I wanted to see how far I could take it. I wanted to set the limit so I would be able to...
You bruised your own wiener from
No,
masturbating?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
I was joking about it.
But did it happen?
The part about my dad being accused by the doctor of abusing me happened.
Ew.
Yeah. And one time, I just peed on him. He was holding me up like in The Lion King, and I just peed on his face.
How old were you then? Do you remember that?
Probably like 13 or 14.
No,
I don't know.
Around the same time I peed on my dad's face.
No, I don't know. Actually, that's when he attacked my penis.
Okay.
But he was really kind of just swatting it away from his face. No, part of a lot of that is true. It should be obvious what parts aren't true.
It should be, but I don't think it's entirely obvious. What's the moral of that story?
Is that the story?
Yeah. Your dad did something.
Well, you told me to start talking about my dad.
With your weenie.
Well, I guess does every story have to have a moral?
This one does.
I think
this one should have a moral.
It's ambiguous. I think my dad's a funny guy. That's where I get it from.
There you go. That's the moral of that story. What?
Are you gonna post that?
Yeah, I think so.
I just don't know what I talk about. I'm so not addicted.
You're so not addicted.
I'm so in control of my impulses.
Are you sure?
No. Yeah.
But how addicted would you say you are?
To addicted or addictive?
Addicted.
To
any number of things.
To a lot of things?
I'm addicted to several things, I'll say right.
Out of 10.
Out of 10 things?
No, the things you're addicted to out of 10, how addicted are you?
Depending on the thing. I mean, I'd say coffee. I'd say 7 out of 10.
No, I can't. I don't get addicted to food or drink, with one notable exception.
Yeah. Well, what do you think that is? That exception. How do you feel?
Rockstar brand energy drinks. If you haven't tried one, you have to.
There you go. That's what we're talking about after 3 beers. Is
Rockstars. I could go for one.
I can't go 10 minutes without drinking a Rockstar.
Yeah, I've had 3 Rockstars tonight.
Rockstar drinks for energy.
Yeah.
Only.
Every night, gotta get.
I love that I can be in denial and still not mind. You know?
I don't know how to use iTunes anymore because, one album, 7 songs. Okay, sounds good.
Does sound good.
Where's the other 2? Oh my God. They're over here.
Yeah. The new iTunes only lists to 5 and then here's 6 and 7.
Have you known that?
I did know that.
That's ridiculous.
It's funny how stupid you are.
Can you tell me how to put them onto your iPod?
Here it is.
Yeah.
You're an addict.
I'm definitely not addicted to iTunes. I don't like it.
It's just this one time.
Just this one time. I don't ever drink too much. Well, I never drink too much to the point where I have to make you come and get me.
Yeah.
I think maybe this one exception was because...
For the sake of the podcast.
For the sake of the podcast, yeah. You gotta drink too much. If your podcast is gonna be about addiction, you gotta drink too much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, for the sake of art, really, That's why I drink too much. It's because of art.
For art.
Is important,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Art is the most important thing, right?
Well, I
The
don't think...
most important thing.
I can't say that art's the most important thing.
Why not?
Because the things art is about are the most important things.
But how are you ever going to be aware of the things that art's about unless you acknowledge the art and appreciate it for being about the things?
Well, those things, the art comes from those things.
But
And it's just natural.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. You can't say... I mean, art, think about those drawings with no personality behind them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you know. There's some things that they just don't have that something to them in art, you know? An art piece that just doesn't have anything to it.
Okay, yeah. Like the Mona Lisa. Or the Vincent van Gogh's sunflowers.
No.
Right?
I'm talking about
The glory hole
Turn right on Forest
at Delta College.
Yeah.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. So what have we learned? I know I've learned that addiction is very serious and very dark and very, very addicting. So the show was so addicting making the show that it went overboard, and I'm afraid there's going to be a part 2. So stay tuned, because this next part, I mean, we were just warming up there. This next part is mind-blowing, and I've got somebody out in the field of Stockton, doing some reporting for me, and we'll get to that next episode, but stay tuned, because it's sure to be mind-bending, and we might learn something. Okay. Thanks for listening.